Welcome to Wisdom Journey, the podcast where we explore the path of building an online business from the ground up. Here, I share my wins, struggles, lessons, and experiments so you can learn, adapt, and grow alongside me. I also interview experts in their respective field. Whether you're just starting out or looking for new strategies to scale, this is your space to find inspiration and practical wisdom. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I'm excited to take you on today's journey. On today's Wisdom Journey, I'm joined by Wes Towers, founder of Uplift 360. Wes helps construction companies and small businesses grow online with smarter websites and SEO strategies. But when he was told AI would make his business worthless, he flipped the script. Instead of resisting, he leaned into AI and built what he calls search everywhere optimization, a way of blending human creativity with machine efficiency. The result? His best year ever. Today he's here to share how we can all thrive in this new era by focusing on what machines can do, authenticity, clarity, and human connection. Welcome to the podcast, Wes.
Thanks so much, Wisdom. It's good to have a chat today.
Yeah, I'm super excited for regard the topic search everywhere optimization.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, for years, I'm a website guy. I do websites and SEO and have done for a number of years. But it was search engine optimization. So back, even a couple of years ago, we would all go to Google or a search engine when we needed a business or we needed something and search there. But these days, with the rise of AI, large language models, people are searching for business and answers to questions through a whole range of different platforms.
Yeah.
AI. So yeah, I use ChatGPT as my primary AI platform. And I'm always just speaking to my phone and having conversations and
Yeah.
that's how I do research now. And so that's how a lot of people do research when they're trying to find a business. And so that's where you really need to show up. You need to show up where people are searching and be seen as the authority and expert in the thing that you provide. So you're once they do need to make an inquiry, that you're the first person they contact.
Yeah. Well, when AI threatens to drown us in content, because there's a lot out there, how do we stand that?
Yeah. So that is a great question because see the risk is what often people will do is produce content through AI. So they'll ask for a piece of content for their website or their blog or whatever, the social media. But all that is it's the average of everybody else. So it just collates all the thoughts that everyone else has ever published. And it's just the average of everybody else. And nobody wants to be average. We want to stand out. We want to be unique and have a compelling message. So never before in history, I believe, has it been more important to be really clear and compelling in what you're communicating as a personal brand, but also as a business. So there's a couple of aspects of that. There's the way in which you communicate. So the voice, the way in which what you say and how you say it, but the message itself. So the voice and the message, how you say it and the core message. You really do need to be unique and stand out in the marketplace. Sometimes it's about distilling down precisely what it is you offer that's superior to the next providers. So that's where the gold is.
Yeah. Well, there on you mentioned search everywhere optimization. But for a lot of persons, they're like, oh yeah, it's just a rebrand of the name of SEO. How's that different from traditional SEO?
Yeah. So the same principles that we've used for SEO, search engine optimization, are the same principles for search everywhere optimization. Well, it's become that. So historically with SEO, search engine optimization, people used to try tricks and techniques to manipulate Google to try and get as much traffic as they could. And they didn't necessarily earn it for good reasons, but they did tricky things to get that traffic. Over the course of the years, Google got smarter and smarter to realize what was quality and what was not quality content. And so those tricks stopped working. And we really did get to a point where the quality of the information mattered the most. And the quality of your information on your website, but also out online in various places as well that mentioned you and linked back to your website and so on. The quality really started to rise to the top. That's still true with AI because AI understand the context of precisely what you're writing and saying. They know exactly what it means.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you could just put your service and the location. You'd say, plumber, Nigeria, or whatever the case may be. and
Yeah.
show up, and it didn't have to read well. Now it has to read really well and be
Yeah.
answering the specific question because it's conversational. So that people were talking to these tools and asking for an exact question to an exact need, not just the really basic phrases anymore. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. It's really evolving. And it's a question of adapting to change.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And so you really want to be known in the industry, whatever service offering you have, you want to be known in your field as the leading authority and expert.
Yeah.
So publishing fresh, unique content regularly to your website is a great way to do that because that's the territory you own online, your own website. It's good to be on social platforms as well, but they're noisy spaces because everybody else is there fighting for attention. So ideally, what you would do is attract the attention where they are, so in social, but draw them back into your website because that's your territory and you
Yeah.
control the
You control
message.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully you can engage them and make the sale as a consequence of all of that. So it is really interesting in the way in which the sales funnel, if you like. So back from a marketing standpoint, you bring lots of people in and fewer people until the sale is made. So there was this process to guide people through to become an end client or customer. But a lot of that research information at the top that we used to share is now done through AI. So they're gathering these information and insights through a broad range of tools and technology. And so it's your job to be seen in all those places. So search everywhere.
Yeah.
So absolutely everywhere. It's good to be on YouTube, social platforms. If anything that other people are saying about you is far more compelling than what you say about yourself. So if you're getting mentions, great Google reviews, anything published about you, it can understand the whole context of online. It's reading all of it all at once, and it understands about your business and who you are. So yeah, being everywhere and having quality messages everywhere is really a powerful thing.
Yeah. You mentioned one of the things that when you even reached out to me is there was a time when you were told your business wasn't worth much because of AI. When
Yeah.
was that, and what made you turn that into an opportunity instead of just giving up?
Yeah, it was a fantastic opportunity in hindsight. At the time, it was a bit flattening. It was about 3 years ago now that I needed to get a business valuation. And the business valuer put quite a low value on the business because he cited the threat of AI potentially ruining my business. So he couldn't value it very highly. AI was, I mean, it's still early days, but 3 years ago, incredibly early days, and he was sort of across it because he's a business valuer and he was following the trends. So because I had that a rude wake up call to think about how I restructure my business, I kind of leaned into it earlier than probably I might have. I might have just kept going along to do my best, but because I had that shock, I started thinking, hey, how am I going to introduce AI as part of my workflow? Because we make websites, we do SEO. So there's certainly ways in which we've streamlined business, but so there's that aspect, but also the realization that the true value that I bring is human elements. So where an AI can't replace me. So being on podcasts like this, it's me speaking. It can't be it can be replicated to a degree, a video of me, but it's not the authentic me. So I think I've tried to make my brand and business as authentic as possible whilst using AI to leverage that and amplify the brand. So yeah, I think it's been a really important and it's going to continue to evolve, but to stay in front of all the noise, because people can produce content at mass by AI and just publish everywhere, but to be heard and seen as a real authentic human who delivers a worthwhile outcome is really important.
Yeah. Wow. You mentioned authenticity as one key part of this puzzle. What role does it play in SEOX? And can you share with me an example where being more human, quote unquote, helped a business outperform AI-driven competitors?
Yeah, so being more human. So certainly it's the only attribute we can bring that adds value. Anything that you can do to bring unique value to the messaging, the content. So it's often things like case studies or examples, stories, genuine stories of how you've helped your clients or customers or outcomes, those sorts of things that are genuinely your own experiences are really important. So we've got a client who we do a lot of SEO for, and he was finding it difficult to communicate what he does because it's a little bit unique. But he ended up, the way we got around that, he started videoing his projects as he was doing them and just describing what he was doing. That was gold because he could publish those on YouTube.
Yeah.
But we could take that transcript and rework it into a great blog content. All of a sudden we could understand because we could say, well, I couldn't really understand what he was doing until I saw the videos and go, oh, well, that's what it is. And this is why it's beneficial. So the videos were super easy for him to do. He just did it as he was doing a project. I watched that, converted it into a great blog piece, and his traffic went through the roof. And it's all uniquely his because it's coming from him talking through his videos. It's not just jumping on ChatGPT and asking for a bunch of content, So that human element is really powerful. So he really does incredibly well for the traffic he's pulling in for his unique service offering.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that example.
No worries.
The SUX, XO everywhere, optimization. If for a business that's just starting, a small business, and what would you recommend as the first step to, the one that we've explained, we've seen the importance. How do we start implementing? What do we do? Hey, quick break. Before we continue, I'd love for you to join the Wisdom Journey newsletter. Every week, I share exclusive insights, tools, and behind-the-scenes updates to help you stay ahead in your own journey of building an online business. It's simple, practical, and built to help you grow. Sign up today for free at the link in the description. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah. So first, as a small business, there's so much to do, and it can be overwhelming. But I mean, my expertise is websites and being found online. So your primary message in your main pages of the website are really important. So it should be clear, concise, compelling, exactly what your service or product is in those pages. So there's two aspects. Your main website pages, so people can see it, know what it is, make a purchasing decision. But then there's the more substantial content that might live in, you might call it a blog or news, case studies, whatever the case may be. And that's where you're really expanding upon the topics you cover to a large degree, ever increasing topics. Sometimes people get concerned about the volume of content. No one's reading all of that content. It's there to train AI because AI can read it all and send people to the right spots and reference the right information. But people will read it if it's exactly what they need at the time. For example, a few weeks ago, I had a toilet problem. It was leaking all the time. So I did some searching on ChatGPT to see how to fix it first, but then I couldn't fix it. I got a plumber in. That's an incredibly boring topic for everybody, except for the person who has a broken toilet, So you need all this content because the right message at the right time for the right person. It will get found. It will surface for the right people. So you don't need to worry. No one's reading everything. They're just reading what's important to them. So publishing regularly in a blog is a really powerful thing to make sure you're keeping it fresh, unique, compelling, and targeting lots and lots of different things.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that.
No worries.
For the search everywhere concept, what's the mindset shift businesses need to embrace in order for them to really implement and double down on this idea?
Yeah, so it has been challenging for people to grasp how much things have changed. Back, not that long ago, people would Google or use any search engine to find a business, and we could match the keyword they're searching and the traffic, and they would see, if we were doing SEO, they would see incremental growth every month, and they'd see more traffic to their website. Now Google is answering the needs in their platform. So the Google AI overviews is answering the questions. So there's less reason to visit the website. when people are just researching a particular topic. So we've had to manage clients' expectations around that because their traffic's dropping. The one distinct difference between the traffic dropping and the business outcome is that hasn't meant that sales drop, hasn't meant that there's less inquiries. When
Yeah.
there's a business, when there's someone who's searching for a need that needs to be fulfilled by a business of some description, they need to engage with that business. Typically what they'll do is visit the website because that's your digital shop front, or they'll go to your physical location if you've got a physical, a
Yeah.
local business. So they're still needing to engage with the business, even though AI might answer some of their initial questions, inquiries, so to educate them about the topic, but they still need to engage. So we've seen all the SEO clients that we're working with, their traffic is diminished, but their sales have not. They've continued to climb. So it is a big mindset shift, because the way in which we measured things previously, it's hard to measure. The other thing too,
Yeah.
so we've got businesses showing up in ChatGPT, but we can't really measure that
The
unless they
impressions.
visit the website through ChatGPT, and there's not necessarily a reason to do that. We can see a little bit of traffic coming through those platforms, but I mean, we had a client the other day who called really thankful. He won a massive contract through the search everywhere optimization, $140,000 contract
Oh,
being found here in Australia. It's someone was searching for exactly what he did, not local. You probably don't know Australia very well, but we're down the very bottom in Melbourne. This was
yeah.
someone
No,
a long way away, but they wanted the very best, and he came up as the very best in ChatGPT. So they
wow.
hired him $140,000.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah.
So that's just we knew he was showing up for those sorts of queries, but it's really difficult to prove and measure.
Yeah.
Other than when someone makes a transaction. So these are the challenges we're dealing with right now. So communicating the value of the service offering can be trickier than it once was, but there's definitely value in it.
Yeah. And just, I know I did ask you a similar question previously, but in terms of websites and content, and for a lot of persons that are not adapting, basically, right? What are the mistakes you've seen them making that you're like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this. You should suppose this is like 40 years ago, 20, I said 40, 20 years ago, this is like, times have changed. You should be leveraging this, leveraging that. But websites and businesses are still doing it today.
Yeah. Some of the biggest there's lots of mistakes that people will make, and things do change so fast. So people, if they're not up with it, they're designing to standards of a few years ago. The a common thing is that websites just become far too complicated and difficult to understand, because there's that necessity to have lots of substantial content. People often put it in the wrong places. So they put it in their main sales pages, trying to attract traffic to their main sales pages, which makes sense, but it muddies up. The message isn't as clear and compelling. So it's just about structuring the website in a way that your priority messages are in the most important places.
Yeah.
There's some positioning of items that have been proven to convert better than others. So the conversion optimization, these rules are pretty consistent no matter what industry you're in. We specialize mostly in trades and construction businesses, but the same principles apply of where things should be. So if you're thinking about a PC screen size, the brand would be on the left, your menu would be in at the top, the call to action button, it might be a phone number, might be on the right, or a get a quote button. The next important aspect is the hero position on the homepage. So that might be where you have a banner, might have some sort of graphic, but a really compelling message with a call to action button. Just having these things in the positions that have been proven to convert just changes everything. Sometimes we get a little bit too complicated and move away from what's been proven to work. So that there's some of the mistakes that people make.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that recommendation and on that. One of the things you said is failing flat can foil breakthroughs. What's one failure that directly led you to a bigger insight about SUX?
So I missed that bit.
Okay. You said falling flat can foil breakthroughs. What's one failure that led you to a bigger insight about XU Everywhere Optimization X?
Yeah, so there's the failures. So I suppose we've seen it a lot in some people are automating their content published to the blog. So there's tools you can do it so it's all hands off. And the theory is, AI is really getting quite clever in writing quality content, well, perceived to be quality content and understanding a brand. But when it's all automated like that, you're not adding anything of new value. So
Yeah.
that doesn't. Google are smart enough to realize, because they're driven by AI now as well. They're smart enough to realize there's nothing actually unique here, and there's nothing that warrants a mention or traffic or there's nothing new. So you've got to have substance. You've got to have content gain. You've got to expand upon the thoughts in which are out there in the marketplace in your industry to bring something fresh. So they're the big mistakes. Just just trying to cheat your. There's always been this thing. Everyone's been trying to cheat their way to the top in Google.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to cheat their way to the top in ChatGPT,
Yeah.
or AI, whatever other AIs people are using. But those things never work for the long term, and they can cause more harm than good in the long run. So, yeah, don't cheat your way. You could streamline business in a practical way, but always keep that human aspect front and center. We're often fixing websites by removing a bunch of. We'll take on a new client and remove a whole bunch of blog posts that were useless, never got any traffic, just weighing things down. The other big mistake is people used to make lots of location pages. So it's basically the same page and they'd repeat it
Yeah. Programmatic
100
SEO.
times. Yeah, that used to work for a little while, but now it causes a lot of harm because it cannibalizes itself. So all of a sudden, if it was me, web design, and I say web design in some little suburb, I might
Yeah.
rank well for that suburb, but no one lives in that suburb. Hardly anyone's there. It's tiny. No
Yeah.
one's searching. And Google have ranked that page, but not my main page. I'm in Geelong, and Geelong's not showing up, but some random, little suburb is. So they cannibalize each other. So all the pages are the same, and Google make its own decision which one will rank and which one won't. You get a whole bunch of pages bringing no traffic at all, which is a horrific outcome. But I see that mistake made all the time. So
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for that. There are AI tools and they're really good, right? And then how do you balance using AI tools with your own creativity, clarity, human authenticity, and all that?
yeah. Yeah, it's the more prompting you can do on your side, the better. So you set up the style guide, your voice, so everything's written in your style.
Yeah.
But the actual that's the way in which you're writing, the style. But the actual messaging, oftentimes what I do for my own is to just speak about what it is I want to communicate, straight into the phone. And it's because the ideas are coming from my mind. It's just helping to structure it in a formulated way that makes sense. So my thoughts might be a little bit jumbled, and it will order it into a logical sequence of
Yeah.
thought that other people can understand what I'm saying. I never just jump on AI platform and just say, hey, write me an article about whatever it is. We do it for clients as well. So it's really about understanding those clients
Yeah.
really well, making sure what we're writing for them is consistent with the style that they've written previously. And then we're often asking them to inject some case studies or examples, or think about storytelling, because think of AIs, the large language models are operating in a conversational way. So storytelling is a great conversational element. So using that as a marketing tool can be really good.
Yeah. Well, storytelling. And I also like the fact that, it's a starting point, right? To help flesh out the ideas and
Yeah.
get it going. And one of the things earlier on at the beginning of the conversation, you mentioned that AI tries to do the average. You mentioned about prompting and also giving context, and that's where our own peculiar data comes in, right? So we want to put in what our audience and platform is. That way, AI creates content, gives us ideas that are particularly tuned in for us, and not just an average of what everybody recommends out there.
Yeah, so it's really a powerful thing. It's difficult, but it's powerful if you can do it. Is if you have your own form of research. I've got a couple of clients who are leaders in their industries, and they do their own form of research. It could be as simple as a poll
Yeah,
that they run on their website, and then they've got some information and statistics that they can share based on genuine research.
yeah,
So no one else has that piece of information, only them, because they did the research genuinely. And then what happens is, if they're lucky enough, and sometimes they are, is other people start sharing that research. So all of a sudden, other people in the field or similar fields are sharing that research. So they're getting mentions, they're getting brand mentions, their reputation is going through the roof because they've brought something new and unique, and other people have borrowed it. Sometimes people get concerned their content is going to get ripped off by AI, and it will
yeah,
to a degree, but you just got to, that's just part of the game. So sometimes people will be stealing your content, but sometimes they'll be using your content but referencing you correctly. So
yeah,
sometimes you get some wins, sometimes you get some losses, but you have to just stay ahead of everybody else and keep bringing something new, because what's new for you today is tomorrow's training for AI.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
just got to keep, and things are moving so fast. You've just got to stay ahead of everybody else with that. Keep it fresh and unique, and come up with new insights, and be the leader, the genuine leader, because things are moving. This is not a race that's stagnant. It's moving fast. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for that recommendation on creating our own form of in-house data. That way, we get a custom and different response from whatever one else is getting out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Currently, what's one AI tool you actually love using in your business?
Well, the one I'm just on ChatGPT like everybody else, but I've got set up the customs GPTs as well. So a lot of that AI. There's a couple of clients who chose to um, write their own blog posts, and they just found the prompting themselves. So there's some cool tools around that. Surfer AI is helpful for those that really find it difficult to work with their own custom uh, prompts. So, and it's meant to be helping for the SEO content writing. I would
Yeah,
say just be careful that it's not too generic, but some clients are getting good success out of that. I use Descript for a lot of video recording, because I do a lot of tutorial videos and so on. But its AI platform is really good at cleaning up the content, getting rid of the ums and the ahs, and editing and detecting voices and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's just so many out there, and it's moving so fast. Canva's introducing some more tools. It seems to me some of them could do better. Yeah, I think it's early days for Canva's
yeah,
um, AI, but I can see it will be really compelling once they iron out a few little issues that I've found playing with some of these tools.
yeah. Oh, there's so many tools out there, and so
Yeah,
many are just popping up here and there like mushrooms.
yeah, I know.
Uh, what's the worst SEO advice you've heard in the last year?
The worst SEO advice. Yeah. Oh, so someone had invested a lot in making lots of hidden pages in their website. So, which sounds fine on its surface level, but the way Google look at those pages, they made a whole bunch of pages just to attract Google's attention, so that they were all unique, they all
Yeah,
written differently, but they were created not for landing pages for anything else, but they were just created for Google's attention. Google don't like those pages, but they're called widow pages, so they live outside, they're within your website, but they're not interlinked anywhere. So Google really don't like them, and You end up getting penalized if you do it too much. And so I hope to take on some of their SEO work, but we just I just highlighted that to a person just the other day that, hey, all this work you've done on SEO, you've been ill-advised, and it's actually causing more harm than good. But the good news for them is they can remedy that. There's a few little things we can do to fix the concern.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And earlier on, I did ask you what's one AI tool you actually love in your business, and you talked about ChatGPT, Canva, AI, and the rest. What's one underrated platform entrepreneurs should start showing up on?
What platform they should start showing up on?
Yeah, since we're talking about search everywhere, like what's one
Yeah.
underrated platform?
You want to have visibility on all the major platforms, but it's difficult to be super optimized on all of them. Depends on the nature of the business. So for an entrepreneur, you'd probably want to focus on LinkedIn because it's a business to business platform. So there's other
Yeah.
entrepreneurs on there. Even if whatever you provide is a B2C, business to consumer, it's worthwhile as an entrepreneur to have a really strong network of other people in your field and
Yeah.
expertise, and for collaboration and insights and everything else. So I spend a fair bit of time on LinkedIn. People can connect. I connect with anybody who reaches out on LinkedIn, by the way, if you want
Yeah.
to search for me. So that's where I spend most of my attention and get the best results. There's other clients who focus their attention on different areas. What I would say is whatever you choose, whatever you believe is the most powerful platform, focus most of your attention on the things that matter most, and don't be too concerned about the other platforms. Publish to them, use a tool to publish to them regularly, but don't spend lots of time on platforms that just are never going to produce much for your business.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's
Well,
just so much we can do. You've got to focus on the things that matter most.
yeah. Thank you so much for that advice and recommendation. Thank you so much for breaking down the search everywhere concept, and also for some of the advice and the warnings regarding the mistakes you see a lot of business owners making. Where can we learn more about what you do and connect with you?
Yeah, the easiest thing is to jump on our website, uplift360.com.au. We're Australian, so .au. From there, you will find our social media platforms, so you can connect whatever platforms people choose. And as I said, LinkedIn is the one I use mostly, and I will just put in a connection request. I do accept any connections, and we can have a conversation from there if people wish to do so.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Wes. It's been an absolute delight chatting and just learning about the search of your concepts from you.
Great. Thanks, Wisdom. It's been
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thanks for tuning into Wisdom Journey. I hope today's episode gave you practical steps and fresh ideas to keep moving forward. If you found value, be sure to subscribe and share this podcast with a fellow creator or entrepreneur who'd love to learn too. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter and the link in the description for more resources, experiments, and lessons straight to your inbox. Until next time, keep building, keep learning, and keep walking your own wisdom journey. Yeah.